Hi, and welcome to this third podcast in the series focusing on the critical question, how can psychology affect performance? In the previous podcasts, you were focusing on motivation and anxiety and arousal. In this third podcast, we'll be focusing on the psychological strategies athletes use to enhance motivation and manage anxiety. The syllabus concentrates on 4 key skills, the first of which is concentration and attentional skills, also known as focusing. Secondly, mental rehearsal, visualisation and imagery. Thirdly, relaxation techniques. And finally, goal setting. As a result of watching these podcasts and the activities you'll undertake in the classroom, you should be able to apply your knowledge of sports psychology to research various case studies of athletes from different sports to ascertain the nature of their motivation and the psychological strategies that they employ. Concentration and attentional skills, or focusing. Concentration is the ability to focus on the task at hand. To understand what concentration is, we need to distinguish between doing and thinking about doing. When an individual thinks about doing, they often separate the task from themselves as the performer. In this situation, their feelings, sensations, and personal reactions become the focus. Total focus can contribute to over-arousal. When an individual focuses on the task or activity, their thoughts relate more to execution. Effective concentration involves not focusing on one or the other, but maintaining uninterrupted connection between the two. This can be illustrated through the idea that we have 2 selves. These are the internal voices and emotions that provide direction for behaviour. Self 1 tends to focus on instruction, listen to direction, ask questions, and is aware of criticisms. Self 2, on the other hand, focuses more on action, execution, and task completion. Improved concentration is marked by less interference from Self 1 and more reliance on Self 2. Concentration can be improved through training that emphasises process rather than outcome. When an individual focuses on process, they give attention to technique and try not to understand why, for example, the shot missed the target. Focusing on outcome places more importance on the result, the success or otherwise of the shot. Athletes also need to know what to focus attention on at a particular time. They also need to adapt to changing situations. Athletes shift their attention constantly. For example, in netball, they might concentrate on executing a shot on goal and then on the whole court, then to passing the ball to one player, or be aware of their own defensive position and that of their teammates. The ability to widen or narrow attention skills can be developed through training. Mental rehearsal, visualisation, and imagery. Mental rehearsal and mental imagery have been shown to enhance not only performance, but also the acquisition and building of motor skills. Mental rehearsal involves the mental repetition of a movement or sequence to increase the mind's familiarity with the desired motion. It relies on the power of imagery, that is, seeing clearly in the mind what is required of the body in the movement. It involves recalling and then reliving the execution of a skill or performance. Mental rehearsal has a number of advantages, including improved concentration. If done properly, it provides the athlete with additional practice and may remove the need for total reliance on physical practice. It can be used during time off from injury. It does have some drawbacks, however. It is difficult for the coach to control the thoughts of their athletes. Some athletes daydream and embrace the pitches in an unproductive manner, while others lack the drive to back up their rehearsal with physical training. The importance of effective mental rehearsal to the skill performance is that, firstly, it elevates the body to the desired level of arousal. Secondly, it provides a clear idea of what has to be done. Thirdly, it heightens concentration. And finally, narrows thoughts to the task at hand. However, to be totally effective, mental rehearsal requires, firstly, vivid, realistic pictures at performance speed in the mind. Secondly, at least 1 and possibly more rehearsals. Thirdly, a narrowing of thoughts to exclude distractions. And finally, a sense of experiencing, that is, seeing colours, hearing sounds, feeling the movement, and noticing the crowd. It can also be enhanced by seeing a successful performance. For example, to visualise failure is to experience failure. Also, practice is really important, so that the process can be turned on when required. Visualisation incorporates all the skills required in mental rehearsal. However, in visualisation, the focus is on picturing a specific aspect of the performance or skill and ensuring that the image is correct. Successful visualisation requires the athlete to be relaxed, with their mind trained to focus on points or techniques that are essential for correct skill execution. Relaxation. Relaxation techniques may assist the athlete to control arousal by controlling the autonomous nervous system. This system controls heart rate, respiration rate, and blood pressure. The effect of excessive stress or arousal heightens the activity of this system, which ultimately contributes to a decline in the person's ability to focus on tasks and to a deterioration in control of the muscle responsible for the desired movement. Techniques commonly used by athletes to enhance relaxation include progressive muscular relaxation, which involves relaxing muscle groups using special exercises; mental rehearsal, which involves relaxing the body through controlled breathing, relaxing the mind, and gaining a floating feeling; self-hypnosis, which involves using the power of suggestion to have the mind accept a particular level of anxiety in a specific situation; mental rehearsal, which involves concentrating on or rehearsing the performance of a task rather than how you feel about it; meditation, which involves narrowing one's thoughts using simple repetitive images and sounds; and finally, centered breathing, which involves a player controlling breathing to release tension before a performance. Goal setting. The establishment of goals is important to improve both individual and team preparation. They provide focus, give direction, and help people to realise their aspirations. Not only do goals redirect a player who is unable to see the end result of training, but they also provide the essential formula for success. Providing a goal-training relationship exists, that is, intensities and aims of training relate to specific performance aspirations, then goals will become tomorrow's realities. To be successful, goals need to be short-term, that is, they can be achieved in a limited time. They are considered to be stepping stones to achieving longer-term goals. Long-term, these are goals that can be only achieved over a long period of time. Behavioural, these goals are related to improve behavioural expectations in training, competition, or both. They are observable, measurable behaviours rather than aspirations. A player may aim to be punctual to training, refrain from criticising others, or controlling their temper on the field. Some coaches use behavioural agreements to monitor desired movements in the player behaviour and to highlight the importance of developing a workable relationship in this area. And goals may be focused on performance. These performance goals relate directly to an athlete's desired level of success. Goal setting is often caged as being SMART. That is, that they are specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. As a result of listening to this podcast and in the note making you have made for both motivation and anxiety and arousal, your focus now is to apply these learnings to the research case studies provided to you in order that you may identify the nature of the motivation and the psychological strategies athletes employ in various sporting situations. Thank you for listening to this podcast.